Talk loud.
System's not logging in. Okay, so on May 30th, for financials, I approved and supplemental appropriation transfers, appropriation transfer from the Commissioner's miscellaneous account for the public defender to pay unemployment claim, supplemental from the Commissioners for Engineer's Office, General Fund, payroll accounts for increased tax map staff and services as requested during their 2025 budget. Cash transfers included a cash transfer from the Sheriff to the Unemployment Rotary Fund. Encumbrances included purchase order from the Commissioners to the Geauga County Airport Authority for a Corsa insurance claim check sent to the Commissioners for damage incurred to airport hangar doors that was deposited into the general fund. Travel from the Common Pleas Court to attend the Ohio Court Case Flow and Workflow Management Program. Then and now from the Coroner's Office to the Cuyahoga County Coroner's Office for autopsies from 2022 that had been performed but were not previously encumbered. Vouchers included $61,200 from Community Development Block Grant to AJ Golder Electric Incorporated for the DDC Clinic Generator Replacement Project, $331,362.44 from the Engineer's Office to Roniak Paving Incorporated for payment number 1 of the asphalt resurfacing of Section D and E of Clarendon Troy Road, and $29,635 from maintenance to Cleric LLC Enterprise Car Sales for the purchase of a 2022 Ford Transit van. Revenue certifications included a revenue certification from the Commissioner's Office and the Healthy Aging Grant Fund for additional money received from the state.
Great. All right.
And then on June 3rd, for maintenance, I accepted the resignation of Sean Strand, Senior Trades Mechanic, to be effective June 21st, 2024. And for the Department on Aging, approved hiring Sean Strand in the position of full-time Chore and Home Safety Program Coordinator, to be effective June 24th, 2024, at the rate of $22.56 per hour with a 1-year probationary period. This offer of employment is contingent upon the successful completion of the required work.
Very good. Okay. We need two motions here for the meeting minutes of the 16th and the 23rd.
Okay, I will make a motion to approve financials.
Pardon, for the
Minutes, I'm sorry.
From the 16th.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Commissioner Ron.
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier. Thanks.
Morning, Adrian.
Good morning. Okay, today's financial include an appropriations transfer to the sheriff for miscellaneous refunds, reimbursements, and web checks that were deposited into the general fund. A supplemental from the commissioners to the public defender's office general fund payroll accounts to achieve parity with the prosecutor's office, as well as being able to promote someone from part-time to full-time, including health care benefits. There's a cash transfer from the general fund to the sheriff for the local match on VAWA grant number 2020 and 2023 WFVA2 8214, and that's almost a $700 drop from what was requested in 2023. Among the encumbrances are a formal contract PO from the commissioners to Title Professionals Group for the purchase of future property, and a purchase order from Water Resources to Junction Auto Sales Incorporated for the purchase of a replacement 2024 GMC 2500 HD four-wheel drive double cab pickup truck operator vehicle, and the vehicle it's going to replace, which is a 2014 GMC Sierra 1500, will be auctioned on GovDeals. Among the vouchers are $50,000 from Aging to Aldi Incorporated for the purchase of $200 gift cards for low-income Geauga County seniors to be used to buy food, which are being paid for by the state through the Ohio Healthy Aging Grant, and $50,000 from Maintenance Office to U.S. Postal Service Quadint POC for additional postage for the mailing machine.
Okay, very good. I'll make a motion to approve the financials.
Second?
Commissioner Ron.
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
Very well. All right.
Thank you.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
All right, I'm with the engineer's office. I'm here for item number 8. County Engineer's Office is requesting the board approve and execute the unit price contract.
Hey, Jacob, just so you know, there's a revised agenda. So your item on the revised agenda is number 6, just for clarification.
Okay.
So,
You're good.
Always rely on that.
You're good, you're good.
All right, number 6. County Engineer's Office is requesting the board approve and execute the unit price contract with Trax Construction Company for the replacement of the Link Road Bridge in Chardon and Munson Townships in the amount of $305,549.00.
Very good. So move.
Second?
Commissioner Lennon?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hi, how are you? Good
Good,
to
how are
see
you?
you.
Good to see you.
Good.
So I'm requesting permission to submit my application for the annual VOCA grant. I didn't find out until after we submitted our budget, but they did cut my grant again this year, $1,500, so
They
we
did.
have to tweak a little bit. Jim has, said he would request some money on my behalf for.
Yeah, so we can make up that difference. It's about $1,500, is
Yes.
it? Okay. Obviously, I think, do we need a second motion to do that today, or can we approve that $1,500 additional?
Can you do it as part of supplementals?
Yeah,
For
we-
the budget, or?
We can just, they can just done as a supplemental.
Okay.
It's financial.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
So we'll make sure that's on there then.
Okay,
Okay.
appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay. So Chris, you want to read this real quick?
The prosecutor's office, victim witness is requesting the board approve and authorize the president of the board to execute the Victim of Crime Act, VOCA, and State Victim Advocacy Act, SVAA, 2024 through 2025 grant application in the amount of $49,454.10. As part of this grant, $28,441.10 is being requested from federal VOCA funds with a local match from the county general fund of $16,552 and $4,461 from SVAA with no local match. This grant is for the period October 1st, 24 through September 30th of 25.
Okay, great. I'll make the motion.
Second?
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Yep.
Thank you all so
Great.
much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Just
Thank you.
have a discussion with Adrian about what the additional funding is.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I'll let him know.
And, I'll get with Sam too.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you. all.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
You too now.
Thank you.
I didn't know if we could add that on to this.
This is just our application.
Oh, okay.
So once her
Gotcha.
grant agreement comes in and you do the grant
Okay.
part, then you could probably do the supplemental at
Okay.
that time. I don't think you could do it right now.
Gotcha.
Good morning, how are you?
How are you?
Morning.
Good. I'm with Community and Economic Development, and we are requesting that the board approve and execute an agreement with Byron D. Myers LLC, Architect LLC. He is going to be doing bid specs and drawings for Chagrin Falls Park Community Center and Maple Leaf Community Residence for our PY 23 CDBG grants.
Okay.
So his contract came in at not to exceed $16,000.
Okay, very good. I'll make the motion.
Second?
Commissioner Lennon?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Morning, Craig.
Good. How are you? Hey, how are you?
Hello.
Morning, morning.
Hello, everybody.
Good.
So we're here with item number 9 to asking the board to approve the submitted resolution. I assume Christie, yep. Got it. Of course you did. Resolution, if we could have that read into the record, just requesting the board to recognize June 2024 as Elder Abuse Awareness Month. This continues to be, obviously, JFS is oftentimes thought of for children's services and obviously that awareness, but elder abuse is also, especially in this community, something that we need to be significantly aware of. We investigated, as you can see from the resolution, 140 cases, and that's actual investigations, not calls. That's not calls, Sam, that's actual investigations that were conducted by our office in the calendar year 2023. One of the things actually just this morning was talking to our supervisor, and another thing to be aware of is about half of our cases are self-neglect for our seniors. And so, as you can imagine, our county, we don't have a ton of rental property where people live close to each other. We don't have a lot of, clustered developments where we have houses right next to each other, on top of each other, where people are more apt to see what's going on with our neighbors. And so with that being said, there are a lot of situations where you have seniors that may have never married, may have never had kids, that are still aging and just don't have the connections to have people look in on them. And so, we have a lot of other folks that, luckily are able to lay eyes on them and give us a phone call. But it's just, again, something to be aware of. And so
Let me ask you, those are, different forms of abuse. What about financial abuse?
Like the exploitation?
Yeah,
Yes.
because that, unfortunately, I'm going through a situation now, actually, personally, with some caregivers. And, this is, it's tough to find good people that come in and that you trust within your home. They're going to live there and be your eyes and ears when you're not there.
Yes.
And, there's actually been some things where, they get very tight and the elderly become very dependent on these people, and, if talked into different situations, if the right things are in place, like a power of attorneys and, having all your I's dotted and T's crossed, do you, I'm sure you probably get, reports of that, right?
We do, and
Yeah.
they've actually changed the laws a little bit to make it a little broader as to what we can investigate, and some of the rules around exploitation. So we absolutely, whether it's like calls that we get from family members or others calling concerned about it, or they also have like an online reporting system that banks can send in, just like an online report saying that they're concerned that they've noticed like a little bit of different type of activity in this person's account,
Yep.
wanted to bring it to our attention. So we work very closely with the prosecutor's office and with law enforcement on the exploitation.
Yeah, and I think,
cases.
trying to educate, get some ideas out there, ways to protect yourself and protect your family. There's some simple things you can do that I think get overlooked too, obviously, like bank statements, not having those maybe coming directly to the house, or, some different things that shouldn't just be, anybody can pry their eyes on, so. But yeah, it's a challenge. I mean, and everybody's getting old fast, it seems like, or maybe I'm getting.
We all are.
Yeah. But it's really difficult to find good help and get people that you trust, and
It is.
yeah, so.
Yeah.
It is, it's a hard
Yeah.
field.
Yeah, and the thing that's, I think, been a positive thing, but it's also been made us busier is, years ago, they expanded the mandated referral statute for elder abuse to include like banks and institutions like that.
Yep.
So, which is, again, a good thing, and hopefully, they get trained on that, but it's obviously also increased the number of referrals that we get.
Yeah, tons.
So-
So do you work, I would imagine pretty closely, you said with the prosecutor's office, but with the sheriff's department too? You probably get a lot of those calls coming, referrals, I guess.
Yeah, they, Christina's our supervisor, and we have one worker right now, Alex. They work very closely with law enforcement.
good.
Christina has a very good relationship with the community providers to be able to do.
Let me ask you something, just on that subject, since we're on it. You said you had 140 real cases last year.
Investigations.
Not calls. And half of those you said were self-neglect or neglect. And then, out of that percent, do you have just a rough estimate, financial, abuse, or do you have any idea what that is, or?
I don't know what our number of
Yeah.
exploitation cases
Yeah.
was. I can text Christina.
Okay.
real
No,
quick
that's
if
all
you
right.
want. But like Craig said, when they expanded some of the reporting criteria, and again, what could count as exploitation, the numbers have definitely
Gotcha.
gone
Gotcha.
up because of that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know, just in terms of like the education piece, we have worked with the banks, and so Christina has done different trainings to make sure that they're aware of what their reporting requirements are, what that looks like, what different things are that we can do to help when it's different between calling us and law enforcement. I mean, so they definitely
Yeah.
do try.
Yeah, because
to
those are
keep them.
difficult to, sometimes they're difficult to even prove what's going on, or,
Yes.
let alone catching it.
Well, very, and even my time as a prosecutor is,
Yeah.
the thing is the elderly, deserve to have that dignity, and, they've paid their taxes, they've paid their dues, and so, we really want to
Protect them.
protect them as
Yeah.
much as we can.
Yeah.
They've provided us with their hard, their life and their hard work, and so we really want to make sure that, we have their backs.
That's right.
Yeah, and I think that our team does a really great job with it. We have a reception on the 18th in the room there where we're actually having family members of a case that we had previously worked. They're coming to talk through
Oh,
like
really?
their experience
Oh, good.
working with us, what it was like,
Excellent.
just things that they felt that people should know in general about Adult Protective Services, but then again specifically
And when,
there.
that's June 18th?
June
And
18th
what
at
time?
noon.
Noon. Okay, good. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's a
so
pretty
it's-
powerful case.
It was, and Christina was able to do a really good job in terms of engaging, and the family that's coming was incredibly appreciative of the work that we did and being able to have like more time with their father before he had passed away. So I think it will be a really good,
That's nice. Yeah.
very good event.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and the other thing I just want to note is with law enforcement, sometimes, they get a case and they, especially with APS, they want JFS's involvement in that, just because we can kind of provide a different, they're trained specifically to deal with these cases and they can be very complicated, and, there's sometimes social work that aligns with police work in these cases just because the relationships can be so nuanced and complicated. So, I think Christina even has like a junior detective badge that she was given by, one of the police departments, so,
I mean, that's kind of the, a lot of times, that's the entryway into the counties through the JFS rather than the sheriff's department. So it's critical, who's engaging with them right away.
Well, and then build those relationships,
Yeah.
that rapport and trust is important.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
very much. Appreciate it. This is very important. So we made a motion to approve. No, I'll make the motion.
Second.
And then, yes.
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
And then here's the resolution. Yeah, great.
Thank you so
very
much.
Yeah, thank you for coming in.
Of course,
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you again.
You too.
Yep.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you, Craig. See you, Tina.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning.
Morning.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good.
Got numbers 10 through 14 today. All right, first off, we've got the maintenance department is requesting the board approve and authorize the president of the board to execute amendment number 1 to Exhibit A, the natural gas purchasing program, and first amendment for Exhibit B, the electricity purchasing program, to the participation agreement regarding energy purchasing programs with CCAO Service Corporation and CCAO SC Energy Solutions.
Okay, I will make the motion.
Second.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Thanks.
Number 11, we've got the maintenance department is requesting the board approve and authorize the county administrator, Gerard Morgan, to execute the electric supplier contract.
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Lennon?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Number 12, we're requesting the board approve and execute an agreement with TEC Incorporated. They're going to provide design, drawing services and project management for the generator upgrade in the annex building. Per the specifications listed in the RFP to be effective June 4th, 2024, and shall be completed within 45 days in an amount not to exceed $28,000.
Great. So move.
Second.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Thank you. 13, the maintenance department is requesting the board approve and execute the service contract agreement with Meridian Construction Services Incorporated to perform construction services for various Geauga County locations for the director for for a one-year period effective June 4th, 2024, and an amount not to exceed $50,000.
Okay, and so what were some examples of this? Or do you have anything in mind yet, or is it just,
We have a couple of small things,
Uh-huh.
some ADA compliance issues.
Okay.
The front counter not being high enough,
Gotcha.
bathroom and portable
some
extras.
bathroom?
Yeah,
Okay,
stuff like that.
okay, very good, so move.
Second?
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner Spiller?
Aye.
And number 14, the maintenance department is requesting the board approve and execute a service agreement with Gable Elevator to perform elevator inspections and maintenance at various county locations for a 2-year period effective June 4th, and an amount not to exceed $15,000.
Okay, I'll make the motion.
Second?
Commissioner Lennon?
Aye.
Commissioner Spiller?
Aye.
Thank you very
Great,
much.
thanks a lot, appreciate it.
Have a good one.
The next item is payment 8 on the courthouse project, an amount of $588,901.88.
So move.
Second?
Commissioner Lennon?
Aye.
Commissioner Spiller?
Aye.
The next item is Mr. O'Brien has submitted his resignation from the Board of Mental Health.
Oh,
So this is just requesting accepting his resignation.
okay, well, we appreciate,
He's still got another year, I think, it's a year, Christie?
Yes, his term does not expire until June 30th.
so is he gonna finish his term?
No.
Oh, no.
He's just
Effective immediately, okay. All right, well, we appreciate the time that he did spend. I think he was on there for a good 6 years or so, or maybe a little longer, 4 years, I don't know. So we appreciate that. So we'll need to put the word out that we're looking for additional, I don't know, how many do we have now? Are we full with that board?
We're not with Mr. O'Brien's resignation, and there was another, what was it?
Ms. Bagley is
Ms.
a
Bagley
state
is coming up
appointment
at the
whose
end
term
of-
expires
Okay.
June 30th.
So, yeah.
Okay.
And they are looking at, the state changed the rules to allow for those boards to be made smaller.
We saw that.
So they're looking at that right now, and it's also, with that change, it also changed the makeup of the board,
Mhm.
that now it'd be 2/3 of the appointees would be local, and the remaining third would be the state.
So that would be a board action, a mental health board action to determine the size of the board? Or is
I
it-
guess they have to request us.
Oh.
I talked to Steve and he said that we would need to approve it.
You need to approve it after, if they make the decision, so that's why
Okay.
they were asking what the opinion of the
I
commissioners
mean, I
was,
think
because they
it
want to do
makes
something.
sense because it's so hard to get board members, and even though we have, what is it, like 9 or 11, I think, we can't, there's many days they don't have a quorum.
Right. It does get somewhat unyieldy, I think, sometimes for these boards. They're volunteer and it's tough to get,
Yeah.
especially on, I think sometimes on the bigger boards, it's harder to get the quorums sometimes, I don't know.
But I think it would be a good idea to do it because it's so tough to get they have all these members, but nobody shows up and then they can't have a meeting anyways.
I mean, I think that board's done a pretty good job of showing up, over the
Yeah.
years. They've done a really good job.
But they
But, yeah.
struggle to schedule some
Scheduling,
things
yeah.
to get up,
Yeah.
if it could be less, it could be more easier to do, and I think,
Maybe we could send a notice over to, is Steve, he's still the president, isn't now, or?
I think so, right?
Yeah. And just maybe get their feedback as to what they're wanting to do.
Yeah.
Oh, is he here? Oh,
Well, if you have questions.
didn't see it back there. Yeah, sorry.
I guess there is, if you're going to choose to do that, which I think we're in favor of, reducing the size of the board.
Yeah.
One of the stipulations, I believe, a commissioner has to come to one of our board meetings, or I think you can appoint Jerry to attend that, to discuss in one of our board meetings the reduction in size.
Oh, okay.
So when is your next board meeting?
It will be,
Next Wednesday,
I think it's a good idea to do that.
Yeah,
third Wednesday usually.
I would imagine
the
it changes.
26th of June.
26th of June, okay. And I would imagine it changes the makeup of the board, because there are some certain requirements of the
Yeah.
board, correct?
There will be requirements of, you need like a family member, potentially like a clinician or those types of qualifying factors. So it will make it maybe a little challenging at times, but
Well, could you provide us maybe with some scenarios as to what the board potentially could look like? Because if you downsize it, you're going to be getting, I would imagine, because there's the state side of the appointees, and then there's the commissioners' appointees.
It will change somehow, in some ways, even with the change to the 2/3, even if you don't change them, because what has happened in the past has been that the local reps, their board members were more just kind of appointed
Yeah.
for that, and then they allowed the state to appoint the required positions, so the clinicians and the family members and that. So
Right.
there will be more of those appointments having to come from the local with those requirements.
And that's what I'm curious about, like as far as the number of state requirement, would that reduce as well?
Yeah, the whole thing would be reduced. So if they reduce to, go from 14, they go, I think they could
It goes to 12, is what she
10,
was saying.
or 8, I think
Okay.
it was kind of goofy
All right.
that they're all even.
I saw the email, but, so I wasn't following.
Two-thirds of those appointees, whatever that happens to be, will be
Okay.
local,
Okay.
and the remainder ones.
Well, I think it sounds like we're all leaning towards exploring the idea of downsizing that board potentially. So let's do some research on that and get back to us maybe next week or whatever on that.
I can do that.
And then if we need to advertise for Greg's position or not,
Right, and that's one thing, is she sent an email saying that they changed to 12 board members on June 30th, and she'll have one state and one commissioner vacancy because of folks terming off. But she was saying that the rule change increases the number of commissioners appointments to 2/3. Ms. Bagley Fury submitted her application to you, to the commissioner's office, and she's the current board member through June 30th of this year, and her term is June 30th of '24. She's a state appointment.
yeah, she's been
But
on there
she's
for
a
a
qualified
long
mental
time.
health and addiction specialist, which is a professional seat that they're required to have on their board of directors.
Mhm.
So there's a possibility that you could appoint her effective July 1st to fill out Mr. O'Brien's term
Mhm.
through June 30th of
Yeah,
'25.
I think,
And that gives you
yeah.
a little bit of flexibility too.
She'd be a
once you
good
return to
option,
work.
but I'd still like to see if there's some other potential, interest out there, because she's been on there for decades, I believe, on that
I
board.
do have that.
Yeah, so not to say that's
Oh.
it's not a factor, but, it's always good to see if there's any other interest out there, I believe.
And that's the whole thing, is we will have to get with Christine to determine what the requirements are for the board positions that they need to have filled,
There you go,
because that's going to change the application as well.
that's right. Okay, very good, thanks.
I'll get you,
Yeah.
work with them, get you that information for next week.
But I do need a motion to accept Mr.
Okay,
O'Brien's.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Commissioner Warren?
Yes.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
The next item is a resolution to authorize the purchase of a parcel of land for the future senior center. We've got the contract 99.9% of the way there. We've got one or two more steps we got to finish before we bring it to the board. We'll hopefully have that done for next week, but I wanted to get the resolution
Okay.
approved today so that
Okay.
all you have to do is sign the contract.
Very good, so moved?
Second?
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Great.
There's that.
We're not doing that payroll thing today? Or,
I know, we're going to do that next Tuesday.
Okay.
Wait, Commissioner DeWark is here, so we have all three.
Yeah. Oh, there was one other thing, we might, since we're here, there was, I received a couple emails from, and I think you all have, from Michelle Lane of Board of Elections, wanting to use the Building 8 again. And we have not responded back to them, I believe, as far as what they wanted, what we're gonna do with that or not. What are your thoughts on that? Go ahead.
I think that it's,
For another year? Yeah.
I mean, we're occupying that, that area,
Yeah.
might as well
Yeah,
make it, to facilitate things, to be able to do that, I think that
I think they were
it's
having
going to
hard.
be a, potential large turnout again, so,
Yeah,
without the offices, other offices in place, parking should be okay, and
yeah.
I think it would just make sense to.
So this is the Chardon, this is the township?
precinct, yeah.
Yeah, for that precinct. And they've used it for a long, long time, and I know they did try and go out and look for some other alternate
Yeah.
places, and they were having a hard time finding anything suitable.
Yeah.
So I would just let them know to go ahead and set up again for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, we don't need a motion for that, or should we?
No, I'll just write a letter.
Okay.
Okay. Is there, Jerry, do you want to talk about that letter for the state?
Zoning.
Oh, yes, we did receive a letter from, Jonathan Tiber, sorry, who's the chair of the Township Association.
Yeah.
The state's working on looking at changing local zoning, non-permitting local zoning. So he was requesting a letter from the board of commissioners to our state legislators to express the concern with having that occur.
Yeah.
That we want to keep local zoning.
Absolutely.
So if you're okay with it, if the board's okay with that, I will type up a letter for you to sign next week.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
I strongly oppose any ideas like that.
Right.
Yeah.
It seems like the issue is it's a central Ohio issue that they're trying to spread to the entire state.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, it would affect everybody, so, yeah, no, that ain't gonna float up here for this, so. Yeah, if we want to help send a letter or sign something they want to prepare for us, that's fine too.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll get something together for next week.
100%.
yeah.
Anything else?
There is one other thing that we're working on, trying to update the CRAs. And with that, there's two boards, is it two different boards?
There's the Tax Incentive Review Board, and there is the CRA boards. And in the past, you guys have been appointed to those committees and you have had alternates. And we've been informed this year that that's not the correct way to do it. And there's a sense that having the commissioners on these boards might present some sort of conflict of interest.
Okay.
So they're asking you to give us names of somebody else to be on that board.
So it's not the board, it's each individual commissioner names it.
Right, it's not done by the board.
The Burton, Harkman, and Troy CRAs ones. So there's 3 different areas that you would appoint to.
Okay. And when do you need that by? Right away?
As soon as possible.
Okay.
Today before you leave.
Okay.
How's that?
5 years ago.
I'm appointing you. No.
So we just need to know that, and we'll, from each end.
Okay.
To put it on record, we'll have it before the board at some point.
Okay, good.
Maybe we can, next week, Jim will be back, so.
Correct. We need to do all that.
Yeah, wait for Jim. Yeah.
But again, it is individual, it's each one of you individually appointing someone.
Okay, got it.
It has to be done on the record and submitted.
Sounds good.
Okay. Anything else then, or is that it?
That's all I got.
Any questions, anybody?
No?
The clerk from Portage County for the detention center is, she went ahead and moved forward with advertising to do the proposed 2025 tax budget hearing for the detention center on the 20th at 11 in Portage County. I told her I wanted to wait to discuss it with you on whether you could attend or not, and she said if we have to make changes, we can, but in light of what is happening, I'm not sure.
We're not gonna be.
Did you have luck yesterday?
I did talk to the Portage County Administrator about that, and let them know that, look, if Geauga County is pulling out of it, they're gonna need to change their budget anyway.
Correct.
So it doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense to have.
Yeah, I would hold off on the budget for now until we know.
Well, and that's the
Yeah.
whole thing, is it still has to be submitted to
The state.
the auditor's office by
Yeah.
a certain date, so that's why I just wanted to make sure, like, you guys are aware that in case somebody says anything, that she did move forward
Yeah.
with setting the advertisement, but,
Yeah.
So for the last meeting, have we received any money from them yet?
no.
No.
So we need to kind of get to the bottom of that because we should be getting back probably close to 200,000, even a little bit more.
That was the carryover portion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
And not to mention the value, which we can determine of the
Right.
building. That'll come, we're a 22.5% share owner, or whatever.
and also I spoke with Judge Grindell and he had that 5 cap removed from
Yeah.
the Lake County agreement.
So it's as many as
So
we,
it's, yeah,
Is
if
it
there's
needs?
a situation that arises.
which is very rare.
So I think with that being said, I think that, I think we need to really kind of look at what that contract wording is as far as it sounds, like Portage probably should owe us some money.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to come to some type of agreement, I think.
Yeah.
As far as what that equity share comes out to. I think, on the auditor's website, Portage County's website, they, have it a value of, $4 or $5 million for that building, which sounds pretty low to me. I mean, to go build that in today's day and age would cost probably, probably $20 million to build that building,
Right.
So, but that being said, hopefully we can get out of this smoothly and there's no consternation with Portage County, and then we'll hopefully we can be able to be a customer,
Right.
going forward. But, because I think, truly, if we were just to, drop everything and walk out today, we're ahead of the game, regardless of what the share is.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah,
If you use that $4.5 million is what's on the appraised value on their other sets, and if we 22%, we're around 900,000 value.
right.
We're safe, just by being out of it, we'll save $500,000 on what we still
Yeah.
need to pay for this year. So
Yeah, but I think Ralph had a good point. It was overlooked somehow, but I don't know if it was through their auditor's office or not, but they do owe us about $200,000.
Yeah, we need to get that.
That, to me, that's a whole separate, that's
Right,
a
separate.
line.
Yeah.
Oh, but I gotta try to get with Adrian on this, I'll do it today, because we need to start making phone calls here so they're not, short stepping this and not getting us our money from what they owe us
Yeah.
for that.
I
And,
strongly advise that you read the minutes that she provided to you from that meeting, make sure that all of that is reflected.
Okay,
yeah,
Because she sent one and then she sent you a revised one that they made changes to, so.
okay.
okay.
I don't know if I saw that. Is that?
If not, I'll resend it.
And here's the other thing too, is I think that we need to go online and get the video, because I believe that they have a video of it, and I think that we need to preserve that video, which clearly indicates that
Right.
there was a motion.
I can ask her to send me that.
I wouldn't say nothing, I think you could find it before.
Just find it?
Yeah, I would just try to find the video and preserve it, because if there's any shenanigans, it's there. So, because they owe us that money. And I think they owe us the money for the center too,
Yeah.
so,
Well, hopefully we can work this out and, that everybody's happy.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I have thrown out there about having a meeting, obviously prior to that one, or maybe it is that day instead of the budget meeting of
Yeah.
between the boards, so it can be ironed out and hashed out.
Right.
Yeah, there is no reason for us to get involved in their budget hearing. That's something they need to figure out from this point.
Mhm, mhm.
So,
Good.
no, we're good.
Okay.
Other than that, there's no questions.
Yep.
I knew it.
Yeah, Diane Jones, Auburn Township, and there was a reference in these last minutes to a $200,000 liability.
Yeah, so what they did was, there was 2020, 2021, in 2023, there was a surplus on the budget that got carried over
Wait, on whose budget?
on the joint detention center.
Portage County.
Joint
Okay.
detention.
So the-
Okay.
The last time that we were here, I brought it up and said something specifically. I said, something is not correct, these numbers, we need to figure this out. Well, they went in and dug into it more and found that in 2021, they basically had, I want to say it was almost 900 some thousand, and then the following year, I believe that they had an additional, let me recorrect it, I don't know, don't quote me on this, but I believe it came out to about 950,000 total accumulated between 21 and 23. And so basically, we need to get that money back because that money stayed within the operation, stayed within their, we basically, we make our payments here to Portage, and then they, basically hold our money, and then what we do is we get a credit back for what we don't. The following year, we get credited back for the past year.
Right.
Well, they never gave us enough back. So what we did was we were able to have a meeting 2 weeks ago, and we agreed to a $30,000 hold on that money that they could keep for, they needed a new washing machine for the clothing and tractor because they were, to be able to maintain their operation, we hadn't moved out yet, or hadn't done that. We agreed to $30,000. Anything above that $30,000 needs to be split according to the way that the formula is. And I believe that it gives us almost 200,000, possibly maybe a little bit more than 200,000. So with that being said, we need to get that money back.
Were those agreements conducted in writing, or is there any written negotiation?
Yeah, it's all part of the standard budget and part of the original agreement of what the percentages that we're responsible for and what they're responsible for.
Okay, thank you for that explanation.
Yep. So other than that, anything else?
Oh, question for Linda. Linda, you indicated 2 committees, I think?
Yes.
Yeah, and one was
Tax incentive review.
tax incentive. It was the first one.
CRA stands for what, Gina?
Community Reinvestment Area.
Community Reinvestment
Community Reinvestment Plan?
Area.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.